So we had Fikile Mbalula going across the country trying to figure out why the ANC lost the elections. Please send him this message to save him the time and effort.
The Working Committee is meeting with the Gauteng Provincial Executive Committee today over the party's performance at the polls this year.
You will know that a week ago we're in KwaZulu-Natal and this weekend we're in Gauteng. And the purpose of our visit is to interact and engage with our structures in the three main provinces where the ANC has not performed well.
Before we share the reasons, welcome to Citizen Concerned, where we remind you to beware of the comrades. I'm Katlego and would appreciate it if you subscribed to our YouTube channel, liked and shared this video with other citizens. The reasons why you lost are very simple. The MK party is one. That happened because you chose to release a criminal from jail instead of letting him serve his term.
Mr. Ronald Lamola, who's just wrapped an announcement into the Zuma incarceration matter, confirming that he did report back to the facility at 6 a.m. and was released at about 7:30 a.m. as part of the special remission program that has kicked off today by DCS.
Why does the process start today?
Because we cannot wait any longer.
Why didn't it start in May then when the Acting Commission said he signed the papers?
Because you need to follow all the processes. In May we had not completed the processes.
Coincidence? Are you saying it's just coincidence that it's starting today on the day that the decision?
No, I'm not saying it's a coincidence. I'm saying the process of remission has to go through all procedures.
You chose to not prosecute and get him imprisoned for his crimes.
Chief Justice Raymond Zondo has handed over Part 4 of the State Capture Inquiry's report to President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. The topics covered in this latest installment include the capture of Eskom, the attempted capture of the National Treasury, Gupta bank accounts, and the Free State asbestos and housing scandals. The report also reveals that President Jacob Gedleyihlekisa Zuma advanced the Gupta's business interests.
Well, the former President Jacob Zuma was a crucial player in the Gupta plot to capture Eskom. In fact, it goes on to say that the Guptas and the former president orchestrated the suspension of the 4 senior executives there. I remember that was in March 2012, I beg your pardon, 2015 on the 12th of March. It says there was a meeting that happened in Durban where the former chair of SAA, Dudumieni, was there. Present also the chairperson of the board of Eskom, Zola Tsotsi, was present. Zuma was also present in the meeting, but it's just the role that's still in question at the moment. But do understand that meeting happened just 4 days before the 4 executives that were then suspended, put in place, replaced by people that were seen then to advance the interests of the Guptas and the former president.
He came back and ate your lunch. The second reason is that the ANC is too corrupt. What has happened to the ANC was bound to happen sooner or later, simply because the people with the common sense and emotional detachment to understand the corruption stories kept leaving the ANC. No one in their right mind would have supported this nonsense if they were aware of the better options.
It does not mean that we don't know what happened. We have done our own analysis as the National Executive Committee about the ANC performance. But over and above that, we have addressed the question of what needs to be done post the elections.
Mr. Fikile Mbalula, there is no mystery as to why you're losing. You're losing because your party, the ANC, is dirty to the core. And you have your former partner in the MK party dealing with you too. What analysis did you do? Right now, you're refusing to remove the woman who has been implicated in the VBS corruption case. What kind of a foolish party keeps a person who has been tainted by corruption?
The VBS Mutual Bank scandal has resurfaced, with media reports now linking Justice and Constitutional Development Minister Thembi Simelane to that saga. VBS, you might remember, gripped headlines back in 2018 after it emerged politicians and bank executives were apparently looting millions from the institution, resulting in many poor people losing their hard-earned savings.
This is the minister's story, and she's sticking to it. The saga started in 2016 during Simelani's tenure as Polokwane mayor. In this time, the municipality invested 349 million rand with VBS Mutual Bank. That same year, Simelane acquired a loan of 575,000 rand from Gundo Wealth Solutions, with which she bought a coffee shop.
I have nothing to hide. That's why I am here.
The timing thereof is exceptionally suspicious. Money flows from the municipality to VBS, money flows from VBS to Gundo, money flows from Gundo to the purchase of the coffee shop, all in the space of a very short period of time. It may be a coincidence, but in a long time of operating in the criminal justice system, I've learned to be very suspicious of a confluence of coincidences.
And as we all know, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development, Thembi Simelane, is not the only one. You lost because President Cyril Ramaphosa has a reputation of hiding money under the couches and furniture. Allegedly. You lost because you have a habit of embracing corrupt people no matter how corrupt they are. You do not expel people from the ANC on the grounds of corruption. Did you think that people did not see that? You as the ANC lost because you are rotten. You as the ANC are rotten because you will never suspend people for poor performance or for corruption without getting public pressure. And even under public pressure, it takes too many efforts and too many shouts from the public for you to remove tainted individuals. Right now, Zweli Mkhize is starting to come back to the front lines. We all know that he was tainted by the corruption that occurred with Digital Vibes.
Mkhize said that a zero-tolerance approach would be adopted in fighting corruption.
We will fight against corruption in general, but specifically corruption insofar as the COVID-19 resources are concerned, in particular in the procurement of the PPEs. We will do everything to make sure that our systems are able to prevent any corruption.
Minister Zweli Mkhize and his son Dedani will have been referred, in fact, to the National Prosecuting Authority by the Special Investigating Unit. The SIU wants the NPA to consider charging the pair with corruption for the payments received from communications company Digital Vibes. The minister and his son are among 20 people who received money from Digital Vibes, which the SIU says was unlawful.
Babita Deokaran died exposing corruption cases that included the same company, Digital Vibes. Babita Deokaran is dead. The mastermind is not found. The people that got those tenders are still walking around free. And you wonder why you lost votes. Really? Why is Zweli Mkhize starting to come back? We see him sitting there, meaning he's still high-ranking within your party. He's an MP. Why? Why? The fact that you removed him from being the Minister of Health means that you saw that he was implicated and did not present a good image for you. But you were not willing to punish him appropriately. This means that you actually know what is right and what is wrong, but here he is, hanging around collecting millions of our taxes. Malusi Kigaba is in the ANC National Executive Committee right now. Public outcries led to the resignation of Zizi Kodwa, and yet he is still on the National Executive Committee of the ANC as well. Are you still wondering why the ANC lost the elections? This is ridiculous. You were given a job to get land and distribute it to the people. Right now, the country is full of internal anger, hatred, and frustrations because your party has failed to restore land, Mr. Mbalula. The failures of the ANC are not a joke. To this day, the ANC has failed to finalize the chapter of the land restitution or make significant progress.
I just wanted to get a sense from you that there's always that uncomfortable thing that the ANC has about this, or always, maybe one should say, runs away from. And the fact that it has dismally failed on this issue. Was that admission made sufficiently?
Yeah, I mean, I came to the conference as a presenter, as an outsider in a sense. But I made the position quite clear from where I stand as an outsider that there has been a failure. I mean, take one example, land redistribution, which is a critical component of land reform. It is common cause that there is no national legislation. And there should have been national legislation for 24 years. There's no national legislation. So it doesn't matter what admissions are made. The objective reality is that there's no national legislation. Take another instance, which is land restitution. The fact that the figures that are bandied about of land restituted in relation to those claims that fall after the 19th of June 1913, the fact that the figures range between 7 and 9% is objective reality. And it doesn't matter whether or not one admits that or does not admit, it's an objective reality. And take the institutional failures. This came quite clearly in the report presented by former President Kgalema Motlanthe. And again, those are objective figures that are just common ground. And I think, generally speaking, everybody accepts that there has been a slow pace and then sometimes total dismal failures in relation to land reform.
To this day, the many people that benefited by getting their farms through the land restitution process are suffering. Many have no skills, and the ANC did not care to equip them with those skills when they gave them the farms. Many are watching as the beautiful farms they got turn into fruitless deserts. They watch as their wealth gets looted by fellow citizens, some even connected to the ANC. Are you still wondering why the ANC lost the elections? Stop playing games here. Your party, Mr. Mbalula, has been in charge of the nation as the economy has not grown. Your party has been responsible for the opening up of the borders of this country. The economy has not improved, yet Zimbabweans, Malawians, Nigerians, Mozambicans, and many others have flooded into South Africa to compete for the little crumbs that are available for South Africans. Not to mention how you have opened us up to Chinese companies such as Shein and Temu that make competition difficult for South Africans producing and selling similar products. What are you doing about China malls across the country? So not only did you fail to provide a good economy for the citizens, but then you opened up the borders. As if that wasn't enough, then you allow criminals to do as they please. Then you yourselves loot through corruption. Then you mismanage every institution under your control while failing to equip the citizens with useful skills that can help them create opportunities for themselves and being better equipped to compete against the foreigners and previously advantaged individuals. The criminals go unpunished and create their own political parties, and then they steal your votes by promising to give the citizens more free things than you. And after all of this, you are wondering why you lost. Really? What Fikile Mbalula is doing seems like a mere box-ticking exercise. What do you think? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If our videos are to your liking, please subscribe, like, and share them with other citizens. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.